Hello, my name is Dr. Arthur McClinu. I've dedicated my life to providing surgical care to patients with heart disease. My life began in the slums of Soweto in South Africa, where I learned to overcome adversity and illnesses, including the death of my best friend. That's why I want to be a resource for you and your family for consultation related to heart and cardiovascular needs. You can learn more about me by visiting my website, which is at zulucheskada.com.
Thank you. Welcome back to the ROLAND GRIMES, not just sports and entertainment show. I'm your host, Roland Bubba Grimes. We're taping live here at the Society Lounge in Silver Spring, Maryland. The food is great. The service is even better. And please come on down to 8229 Georgia Avenue, Silver Spring, and enjoy the amenities here at the Society Lounge. With me right now, I have two distinguished gentlemen who often wear red, but we'll talk about that in a minute. On my far right is none other than, and you've seen him on a few of my other shows, none other than the CEO of Helms Fitness Center. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for my co-host, Mr. Eugene Helms. And if you haven't noticed, I'm about 6 inches smaller than I was when I first started, thanks to Eugene. I see the people out there looking at me like, huh? But it's true, y'all. This gentleman sitting next to me is Mr. Craig McCord. Craig is the PoleMarch of the Bowie, Mitchellville, Maryland chapter of the Distinguished Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Put your hands together for Mr. Craig McCord. Thank you. All right, the reason why I asked Brother Helms to join us on this set is because he's a Kappa Alpha Psi brother for real. I'm just going to be a pseudo brother for this particular set. I'm going to open things up by finding out a little bit more about Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity because I know absolutely nothing about it. Tell me something. Mr. McCord, what do I need to know about Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated today?
What you need to know about Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, that no disrespect to any other fraternity.
Oh, here we go, y'all. Get amped up.
But it is the finest African-American fraternity in the country. Bar
Is
none.
it the finest?
The finest.
Oh, yes. Now, what defines the finest in your vocabulary?
In all fields of human endeavor. We the prettiest, we're the strongest, we're the smartest, the most humble. You name it.
Do tell.
And of course I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. But I'm very proud of my fraternity. I've been a member for 28 years.
I was getting ready to ask you that.
28 years in my fraternity. I pledged my sophomore year at Elizabeth City State University.
Oh, I thought you pledged when you were 2, because you're not 30 now.
I wish. I
You
wish.
said you was pretty, so
I wish. 48 years old as of yesterday. My birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday,
Thank you,
Jerry.
sir. Appreciate it.
On the red month of February? No, January.
January.
You know what? I don't even know what month it is. Hey, y'all, ignore me. Craig, so you're probably wearing your Kappa Alpha Psi shield. Mm-hmm. What is a PoleMarch, and why are you a PoleMarch?
A PoleMarch is a...
PoleMarch, I apologize.
PoleMarch is a Greek term, and it means a field general. But in today's terms, it would be considered a CEO or a president, if you will. So I am the president of the local chapter, the Bowie Mitchellville alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay, so now as this general that you are, you have a young man sitting next to you who somehow fits within your domain.
Yes.
What is it that you do with gentlemen like him to help him to get to where he needs to be one of the finest Kappa Alpha Psi representatives in the world?
See, well, Brother Helms is one of our newest members. And so he is a chapter member. And so his talent contributes to us as a whole. The things we do in the community, what he brings to us is his time, his expertise, his experience, and it helps us make a difference in the community because it's a collective. So every individual brother brings something to the table. It's not just one person. It's not just me. It's all of us.
Okay. Brother Helms.
Brother McCord.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I want to talk about are the list of activities. I know in Kappa Alpha Psi we have so many different activities that we do. So Could you explain some activities that we do and what can people do as far as being interested and get inside these activities?
Well, our national program is called Guide Right, and one of our major programs underneath Guide Right is the Kappa League program, and that's a program that's geared to high school age children, age from 13 to 18. And what we do is we provide mentorship, we provide life choice programs to help these kids get a better start. One of our mottos is achievement in every field of human endeavor. And what we feel is in order for us to make a difference, we focus heavily on young people, specifically young African American males, where we feel that it's a void out there. And what we do, what each Kappa chapter does, is to fill that void. I have 2 young sons myself, and it's important for me that if I were not around, that there would be a program that they would be able to be a part of where they would be around positive role models, because that's what we are. Our membership, we're about 75, 80 strong in our chapter, and what we are is a collection of strong, positive role models for younger children to gravitate to.
Okay, now when he says you're a new member, what does that mean, you're a new member?
I'll let Brother Helms tell you.
That's what I mean, brother.
Go ahead.
Eugene, what does it mean you're a new member?
New member mean that I've been in the fraternity for about at least 2 years.
You've what?
So been in the fraternity for about at least 2 years. So any time between year 1 to about year 3, year 4, they consider you about a new member.
So he's still a newbie. So
Still learning all the tricks of the trade, all the information. So the biggest thing that you want to do when you first come inside the fraternity is learn. So you want to get with a lot of seasoned brothers, and that doesn't mean that a lot of brothers that are older, because we have a lot of brothers that are young that's been in the fraternity for quite some time, and you want to see how everything is structured. Once you see how everything is structured,
Now that's a good point. When you were in college, did you think you were pledging a fraternity, and if so, what stopped you?
football. Football. See, the first thing I wanted to pledge Kappa side, but because of football, I didn't have the time. So one of the things that I wanted to do and took off my list was to pledge a fraternity. So once I got out of school, and once I finished playing football, that's when I said, now is the time for me to actually move forward. Because now I had the time. Because it was quite crazy during that time for me trying to do that as well as keep my grades up.
Now, before we take a break, many of us saw the movie School Days. Many of us were on college campuses, and we read stories, heard about the hazing that goes on college campuses, especially with the black fraternities. When we get back, we're going to talk about that legacy a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about some of the developments, some of the changes that have taken place with some of these fraternities as they move into the future.
Okay.
Hey folks, we're going to take a quick station break. Roland Grimes, not just sports and entertainment show. Sit tight, we'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to Roland Grimes, not just sports entertainment show here at the Society Lounge. Eugene Helms, Craig McCord. Craig.
Yes, sir.
As the PoleMarch, there is a perception out there, whether it comes from television, movies, things we read about in media, negative connotations about the fraternities and sororities, the African American ones, and the pledging and hazing of undergraduate students, especially on their way. Now, I was on a college campus, so you can't front on me. I saw some of what happened. However, life goes on and things transition and change. Tell me some of the things that are developing on a positive basis with the pledge process now for some of the undergraduate chapters.
Well, you're right. It has changed. And the thing about it, hazing is a ugly blemish for all of us. And nationally, not just Kappa Alpha Psi, all of the Divine Nine, all of the black fraternities and sororities, we have all united together to put out the information that we are all against hazing.
Yeah, but doesn't that make you a little upset because you went through it? I mean, I don't want to see the football players of the day not get their hair cut and smacked them like I did. I mean, so doesn't it kind of make you feel like they're getting through this rite of passage without having to pay their dues like you did?
You know, there are a lot of people who feel that way, but I think ultimately if you look at what our major goal is, I think that small part pales in comparison to what our real purpose is. Okay. And so,
good answer.
If you believe in what it is, and I don't care if you're a Kappa, a Q, an Alpha, a Sigma, if you believe in the bigger picture, that small part of it, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And the things that I went through, a lot of it I didn't understand, a lot of it I didn't agree with, you know, but at the end of the day, the difference that we make today is more important than the small, immature hazing piece of it. And it will destroy us if we don't stop.
If we don't evolve beyond that point.
Exactly.
Okay. Eugene, when you joined 2 years ago, what was your process like?
Well, the process, just like Craig McCord said, it changed. And the biggest thing that you to learn is the information. That's the biggest thing that a lot of the older members said that changed, was that you learn more information, you get better knowledge, but also you learn how to act as one. Because that's one of the things they always teach you. They say you have to act as one. So you don't understand that until you actually go through the process. And then also working when you are past that process, you working with other brothers.
And either one of you can jump on this question. What is some of that information and knowledge? Not the secret stuff. Okay. All right. Don't tell all your trade secrets. But what is some of that information and knowledge that's passed on as students and as grown folks go into your fraternity now?
I think the important thing to understand is in 2011 we celebrated our 100-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
And to think about 10 young men in their 20s who put something together that is still relevant 100 years later, you know, that is just monumental in itself. And so the things that you learn doing what it's not called pledging anymore. It's called the membership orientation intake process. There is a heavy emphasis on the history because we can't go forward until we understand where we've been. And to understand what these young men did at that time, we're talking about 1911, the turn of the century. We're talking about we were not even considered full human beings.
We weren't considered human beings. Right.
And so for these people to band together, not just us, talking about the Alphas, the AKAs, the Deltas just celebrated their 100-year anniversary in 2013. It is monumental what we have been able to do. And so that is what we impart to the young people and anyone trying to join our organization. You got to know your history. You know, and I would encourage anybody, don't join anything until you learn about it.
Well, I'm smiling because when I was an undergrad, I tried to play as Delta, but they wouldn't. Okay. But that's another story. Eugene, you have a question for Craig?
Well, one thing I want to piggyback on as far as the history, one thing about those 10 men is that they actually started the fraternity on a white university. So that's rare. So you look at those times as far as all the
backlash
they had to go through for them to actually start, and then they had to have someone, primarily not of color, to actually help them to get the super exceeds. So that shows you a lot as far as the stuff that they went through, the triumph, and that's what makes the fraternity when you look at the information, and that's why you have so many brothers that really they sweat and they bleed, come out of the side. So when you see one brother, you see all, because we act as one.
Tell us about some of the distinctive mission of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity. today?
Well, the distinctive mission is, like I said, it's our emphasis on our Guide Ride program and our Kappa League program. And we have a program called Diamonds in the Rough, where we believe that the focus on college preparatory courses, SAT prep, we're trying to prepare gentlemen to be our future. When you had Martin Luther King, you had Jesse, you had Barack to follow. We need someone to follow Barack.
Royal citizens and scholarly kings.
Absolutely, absolutely. The pipeline has to continue. Once Barack leaves office, we need another pipeline of leaders to come and replace him. The struggle does not continue when Barack leaves office.
Let's go there. What's happening with the pipeline as you see it right now?
Well, the pipeline, it's still going, but our young black men are at risk. And
What happened? The older black men are at risk.
Absolutely. And so my thing is, shows like this, our organization, other organizations, any organization that's built to help young people, be it males, females, to become productive members of society, to remember to keep God first, to remember to keep their family first. We got to stop having babies, because that's draining our society right there, because it's just dumb teaching dumb. And so we have to create a better pipeline of intelligent human beings that can take their rightful place in this society. And so that's our primary focus.
Okay. Now, as we get ready to take a break, and these gentlemen are talking about our history, there's a young man who recently passed away in the Washington, D.C. area, from the Washington, D.C. area. His name is Chuck Hinton. And as you Google his name, you'll find out that he played Major League Baseball, African-American male, at a time when a lot of African-American males weren't invited to play. My father was one. You know, he was part of the Negro Leagues here in the Washington, D.C. area, and is now in the Hall of Fame, ROLAND GRIMES. But Mr. Hinton was a baseball coach at Howard University. At a time, we speak of Glenn Harris and some of the other legends of this area. Just want to give a tribute to him. God bless you for all you do. Rest in peace, brother. Roland Grimes, not just sports and entertainment show. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Thank you. It's been a long night, but a beautiful night. Craig McCord, Eugene Helens, Kappa, Alpha Psi, Fraternity, Incorporated. To all you newts out there in America and beyond, I just want to say to you, thank you for being a part of the ROLAND GRIMES show at this time.
Thank you.
What are the characteristics of the young men and older men that you look for to be new Kappa Alpha Psi members?
We're looking for men of integrity, men who believe in a higher power, men who believe that their role is to make a difference.
Men of integrity. Yeah. What the heck does that mean?
Someone who means what they say and say what they mean. You know, you have a lot of individuals out there who talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And so with us, it's a commitment. And the thing is, we're not looking for T-shirt wearers, especially at the graduate level. You know, if you missed your opportunity at the undergraduate level, don't try to join an alumni chapter thinking you're going to be running back on the yard trying to run all the women. No, it's about the work.
No T-shirt, no stepping on the yard.
We don't need that. You know, you're going to be 50 years old running back on the yard.
Hey.
Be like, hey, they're going to roll it. Hey. They're going to roll it.
With my cane.
Exactly.
It'll be a real cane.
Exactly. you know, but we're looking for people who have the time to commit. And, being a Kappa is expensive. You know, the things we do cost. And so,
you expect everyone to contribute.
Exactly, we do. I mean, that's the expectation. And, and as the PoleMarch, I'm constantly trying to reach back and just remind brothers of why we're here, the difference that we make, and that, you know, like I said, I've been a Kappa 28 years, and the fire still burns. The fire still burns.
Okay, well that's the pomp and circumstance and beauty of what you do. However, experience tells me that it's not always glory.
No.
So now, you come up against some resistance. I'm sure when you're trying to get money out of us, I'm sure that there are times when you're being challenged in terms of your leadership. When these things occur, how as an organization and you as a PoleMarch deal with some of the divisive things that happen in any organization in order to maintain some degree of integrity and collective cooperation?
When that happens, I appeal to the majority because the people you talked about are very much in the minority. And so I appeal
They
to...
can be strong.
Oh, they can. And, you know, because in any organization, you're going to have people, when you say go left, they want to go right. Exactly. And anytime you're dealing with a collective of intelligent men, everybody has egos, everybody has, you know, they want their idea to carry sway. But at the end of the day, it's a democratic process. We put the ideas out there, we vote, and the chapter, the body decides.
Okay.
You know, it's not a one-man show.
So when you say you take the majority, you're not talking about majority opinion. You're talking about a political or some kind of process,
absolutely,
governing process. That's
absolutely,
in place.
absolutely. And, you know, as a chapter, we'll assess the situation, put a plan of action in place, and then we put it to the body. And we let the body decide, is this an area that we need to get into? Is this something that we can fund? Is this something that we should go into? And yay or nay.
So you do things like follow Robert's
Absolutely.
rules of order, and people have a chance to state their case, etc.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of the things I want to touch on is that we have a lot of young men that's seeking to go to higher education.
Yes.
Seeking to get higher education, and they want to go to college.
Yes.
Now, could you talk to us as far as what type of programs that we have for those men that may be able to get some type of scholarship?
The Bowie Mitchellville Alumni Chapter, through our Diamond Foundation, which is our philanthropic arm that we've developed in order for people to be able to donate to us tax-free. And
this is anyone, not just Kappa.
This is just anyone. If you want to write us a check, I encourage people to check out our websites and to take a look at the programs. And pretty much the majority of chapters have a 501c3 organization where you can actually donate money, and this money funds our programs because we don't charge the children, we don't charge the parents. A lot of it is through our fundraising, out of our own pocket. And so when you see our programs and you decide to donate, this helps make a difference. This helps us do the things that we do. And so through our Diamond Foundation, we're able to fund college tours. Our Bowie Mitchellville Alumni Chapter, we have a major college tour that we do every September, October. It's over the course of 2 to 3 days. We visit 5 or 6 colleges. We try to do it during the homecoming time so the kids can see, to get a flavor of it. Yeah, so they can.
Primarily HBCUs?
Primarily HBCUs, but we've gone to Georgia Tech, not just HBCUs. We've gone to the bigger institutions as well because it's not just restricted to that. And so we just want them to see. A lot of them have never been outside their own neighborhoods. Exactly. And a lot of times this is their first trip outside of their neighborhoods. And so for them to go and say, I can do this, I can be a part of this, makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does.
Another thing I want to discuss about is we have the Amen program. I know we're about to do another program with the Guide Right as far as the basketball game. So one of the things that I can say is working with the fraternity. We do so many things for men as far as basketball outings, as far as movies, as far as this guy sitting down, we just having a healthy conversation as far as what are the things that you need to do as far as becoming men, and those are the educational pieces that we're getting. And one of the most impressive things is that we had a young man that went to Bishop McNamara that received the scholarship, and that actually was a game-changing time for him, because now you're going to school having some money, whereas money is tight and also education is so high. So having this type of organization that's doing these types of things is really encouraging and really helpful for those that's less fortunate.
Okay, now here we go.
Okay.
We talk to these organizations and we talk about education.
Okay.
Education leads to other things.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that has plagued our communities, African American communities, is lack of ownership, lack of equity, lack of business development, and sustainability.
Yep.
As we close, are you and what are you doing to help to increase and enhance our development entrepreneurially, professionally, economically?
Through our Kappa League program, every first and third Saturday, we conduct sessions with our young people. And so we look into the community for people who are successful to come in and speak to our young people, to tell them how they made it. We tap from our own brothers, Brother Helms and his company. We have him come speak to these young people to explain to them the things that they need to do in order to be successful. You don't necessarily have to go to work for somebody else. You can own your own business. We teach them things like how to be financially savvy, how to manage a checkbook, things like that, things that are not being addressed. We address those sessions for these young people coming up because we understand that, in order to achieve in every field of human endeavor, there's nothing better than being your own boss. Everybody wants to be a Roland Grimes, and we're trying our best to show them how to get there.
Solid. Hey, folks, too bad, so sad, we're out of time, but anytime we have distinguished gentlemen like Mr. Craig McCord and Mr. Eugene Helms on our show, it's always a pleasure to go overtime. Roland Bubba Grimes from the Roland Grimes, Not Just Sports Entertainment Show. Craig, I want to thank you again
Appreciate
for joining us.
Thank you.
Eugene, you know how I feel about you deep in my heart. Hey, folks, on behalf of One Shot Fred photographer, Don Briscoe, my timekeeper resident for today, Mr. Cooney, who couldn't make it today because of a family obligation. My makeup artist, Tanja. If you notice, we're a little prettier than usual. Tanja made it happen today.
Yes, indeed.
And, of course, on behalf of my resident co-host, Mr. Self-Empowerment Wilbur Skipper, I'm Roland Bubba Grimes signing out and off from the Roland Grimes Show. Good evening and God bless.